So go ahead, go through all the physical characteristics of Tadasana that you know. Feet are hip width apart. Feel the big toe, feel the outer heel. As you do that, for most of us, that means that your ankles come a little bit more towards the center line or towards one another. At the same time, we feel awareness in our knees and hips to externally rotate, only as much as you need to have a nice straight line from ankle to knee to hip. Once you've established the base, you can think about your lower back and your rib cage. If the rib cage is tending to come forward and your butt backwards, then you need a little tilt of the pelvis towards the front, which not only elongates the lower back a little bit, but sets your back and pelvis in a nice alignment. Shrug the shoulders up and back. Hands are by our sides. Think about shining the heart without arching the back and throwing the rib cage forward. Chin is level with the floor. You have a nice soft gaze in front. This is your Tadasana. Whenever we're standing, we come back to this pose over and over again. If your knees are bothering, you really want to focus on lifting the arch, external rotation. Open up the hands, inhale, arms up. At the top, hands together, exhale to your heart. Eyes can stay open or closed. Let's share the pranava 3 times. Take a breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 3 times the shorter version of the Guru mantra. Take a breath in. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And exhale, release. Now, if you're feeling some discomfort in your hip, knee, or ankle, you may want to widen your stance right now. If you do widen the stance, you still want to keep the alignment of lifted arch, external rotation of knees and hips. So you have to find the compromise between having your feet a little wider than your hips and not letting your knee or hip turn in, okay? So you have to sort of figure where that is for you right now. Try and really focus on holding the integrity of your lower body as we do our side bends. Open up the palms. Inhale the arms up. Hands together at the top. As you exhale, drop your shoulders. Bring the shoulder blades down the spine and towards one another. This will cause the armpit to externally rotate out, but you're still rotating your hands in. All right? From here, let's think about grounding through our feet to our pelvis. Inhale, grow tall. So I'm loosening any tension I feel here in the rib cage and the waist, and I actually feel like I'm growing tall. As you exhale, find a nice bend to the right. Do your best to keep the equal weight on both legs so that one knee is not taking more pressure than the other, or one hip. Now, when you go to the right, we have a tendency, again, to dump our weight into that right hip. To avoid that, you have to keep lifting up tall. Keep growing tall, even as you go to the side. Let's hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, don't lock your knees either, 2, and 1. Okay, keep a really active core strength as you inhale, lift back up, keep lengthening up as you come back to your center point. Gather yourself once more, nicely centered, keep the integrity, take a breath in, and exhale to the left. Keep growing tall, extending out, and then to the side. So it's a real play of finding how can I stretch and relax to the left without dumping my weight unequally into my feet or hips. To find the lengthening in the abs, the oblique, the right side, you really need to relax the belly. So you don't want to hold tension as you inhale and exhale. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, grow tall, extend up, return to center. And exhale, release your hands. Let's do a back bend. Integrity of your lower body. Open the palms, inhale the arms up. At the top, release the shoulders down. Feel the widening through the armpits. Center yourself, ground yourself. Inhale, grow tall, loosening through the waist. As you exhale, simply bring the arms behind you and drop the shoulders again. Now you're really widening your armpits out to the sides. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, find your back bend. As you get into position, you're playing with how far can I go back, keep lifting my heart towards the sky, and not let my shoulders creep up towards my ears. Don't let go of the big toe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, keep lifting up as you come back to center. Bend the knees. Forward fold. As you exhale, come forward. Feel as you pass through that 90-degree angle, continue going. At the bottom, your hands touch the mat. Perhaps they can slide back, so toes and fingers are in line. Roll the shoulders up and back. Keep your knees bent. Feel the integrity right here, even with your knees bent. Big toe, outer heel, lifting the arches. Feel awareness of both knees right now, and the hips are nice and open. Drop the head. Hold here with knees bent. Now, if it doesn't bother your knees, as you exhale, perhaps you can extend the knees, straighten them without the butt coming behind your feet, okay? If when you straighten your knees, you tend to roll back, and that's just because your hamstrings are not yet lengthened, then keep the knees bent a little bit, because we really want to keep this alignment of the hips over the heels. Let's stay here, wherever you are. It's all about awareness. Refining that awareness of where your body is. Soften the breath. Do not lock the knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse swan dive to come out. The more you bend the knees, the less tension you're going to feel on them as you come up. Lift the head, lengthen the back, bend the knees. Inhale, extend the arms out to the sides. And now inhale, rise up. Arms are extended up high. Exhale, return your hands to the sides. Right hand stays where it is. Open up the left. Inhale the left arm up. At the top, release the shoulder down. Square the body off. Feel the integrity of your lower body, getting ready for a nice side bend to the right. Take a breath in, grow tall. Exhale, side bend to the right. Keep extending up so that you're not putting extra weight on the pelvis, the knee, or the ankles. Open up the right palm. Inhale the right arm to meet the left. Exhale, release the right arm down to the thigh. Again, inhale up. And exhale. 2 more times. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale up. Hold here. Really take the weight of your torso into your torso, so you're not putting anything extra on the pelvis, the knee, or the ankle. Hold yourself up. And coming out, inhale. Let's come back to center. And exhale, release the hands. Left palm stays where it is. Open up the right. Inhale the right arm up. At the top, exhale, release the shoulder down. Relax any tension in the neck. Find the awareness of your base, meaning pelvis, knees, feet. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, extend to the left. Keep extending up and left. Hold yourself up out of your pelvis. Relax the shoulders. Open the left palm. Inhale the left palm to meet the right. And exhale, release nice and slow. Inhale up. And exhale. Feel that you have nice equal distribution between both legs. Inhale up. And exhale. Last one. Inhale left to right. Hold here. Keep extending up and over. And then inhale, come back to center. And exhale, release. Forward fold, bend the knees first. Now when I bend my knees, again, sometimes there's a tendency to stick the butt out. So keep your butt in line. Hands are by your side. Inhale, arms up. As I exhale, forward fold. Release down. Keep your knees bent, and let's just hang out here. And then reverse swan dive to come out. Lift the head, lengthen the back. Right here, take stock. Where are my big toe, outer heel, ankle, knee, and hips? Now, inhale, extend the arms out to the side, and inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. All right, what I'd like to do is to ask you to be very, very gentle. I know we've all, through life have had injuries or arthritis, old age, where a joint hurts. So what I'd like you to do is see if it's your knee or your hip, with my feet hip-width apart, with my pelvis moderately tucked forward, how far can I bend both knees without incurring pain, because that's something that you want to think about whether you're doing sun salutations or anything else in class or waiting in line, okay? So simply stand with your feet hip-width apart. Find that nice Tadasana stance, big toe, outer heel, external rotation. If right here you're already feeling pain, then don't bend your knees anymore. If you're okay in a standing position, exhale, bend your knees. How long can you maintain that external rotation and still bend the knees? Or there may be a little rotation through the hip as you come down. And just play with it. When you feel that there's some discomfort, stop there and see, okay, if I pay a little bit more attention to lifting the arches, external rotation, does that alleviate some of the discomfort? It may not. And then inhale, come back up. Let's do it one more time. I would really like you to be really focused on maintaining the external rotation of knee and hip as you go up and down, okay? So take a breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. See where you're at. Don't lose that external rotation as you're coming up or down. Okay, inhale, come up. Don't lose it. Hang on to that awareness. Beautiful. Let's come down to our mat. Let us get a block. Put it underneath our back so we'll be in a supine position first. So the block comes about at our bra strap. This is just a beautiful supportive position for relaxation. All right, just in case you did feel some discomfort in the standing poses that we did, let's just find a place where we can relax. So you put the block, for some of you it's going to be right at the bra strap, for others just underneath the bottom of your shoulder blades. You may want to put something underneath your head, another cushion, as your legs are extended, arms are extended out to the side, palms up. Relax the legs, knees and feet are pointed to the outside for most of us. That's the relaxation pose where there's no tension in the lower back. Let's hold here and just find that nice awareness of your breath. To help with the relaxation, let's go ahead and count our breaths, like inhale for 5 counts, exhale for 5 counts. In this position, you really feel how the belly moves because the chest is a bit constricted in this position. So I really don't feel my chest rising as much as I feel my belly rising with each inhale and exhale. Stay here with that nice focus on the breath and the movement of the belly. Let's really promote relaxation throughout our whole central nervous system right now. That's our goal. And to come out, let's bend our knees, plant the feet, behind our butt. Take the hands, palms down, next to your hips. Feel contact from the hands to the elbows. Bring the chin towards the chest, and then just sit up. Let's get rid of the block. Come onto your belly and Cobra Pose. Now the nice thing about Cobra is that we can really learn how to isolate, and this is something I want you to go through. Every time we do a sun salutation, I'd like you to remember these characteristics. In the Cobra Pose, hands are level with the shoulders, shoulders away from your ears. Think about the shoulder blades like we do in standing poses. Shoulder blades are gently running down the spine and towards one another. In the beginning, it's okay to have your feet as wide as the mat, or you can have your feet touching. In this position, think about that pelvic tilt that we always do. That helps push my pelvic bone towards the mat without too much tension in the buttocks. Point the toes, feel the top of your feet against the mat. So when I ask you to lengthen your leg, what I'm asking is to have contact from the pelvic bone, top of the thighs, maybe your knees, maybe not your knees, but definitely the tops of your feet are touching the mat, and you're thinking that someone is pulling your feet away from you to elongate. At the same time, my shoulders are nicely relaxed down my back. Let's begin. Inhale, simply lift the head off the mat, look down. So I have a nice line from the back of my head, down my spine, and down both legs to the top of my feet. Inhale again. Let's see if we can lift our chest off the mat. Lengthen the body down, lengthen the legs. If in this position your shoulders started to creep up towards your ears, see if you can bring them down. If you cannot, then lower your head a little bit, lower the chest a little bit. We should feel a nice focus of energy in the lower back without clenching the buttocks. Let's hold here. Keep lengthening the leg. Switching that breath. Feel the lateral movement of the ribs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring the head back down, release the hands. Let's come into Crocodile Pose. Widen the feet, toes pointed out. Resting your head on your hands, head to one side. This is Makarana Asana. So it's really cool now. In Makarana Asana, you feel your breath, that there's more contact between the chest and the ribs, so you're going to feel the breath in the belly now. Okay, let's come back into Cobra, and let's think about how do we get set up. So, hands are in position, shoulders in position, lengthen the leg, slight pelvic tilt, try not to clench the belly. Inhale, lift the head. Review your position once more. Shoulders down to your toes. Inhale again, lifting the chest up. Lengthen the leg. Inhale, float the hands an inch above the mat. Shoulders behind you. Lengthen the leg. Now don't try and lift up by pushing your rib cage down into the mat. Your lift is coming from the lower back. 8, 7. Now for some of us, it's easier to look down in this position. For others, you may want to tilt your head up, whatever works for you. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out, bring the hands back down. Exhale, release the head. Makarana Asana. Head is pointed towards the other direction now. And let's come into Cobra Pose like you see I do. So place your legs in position, again, whether your feet are touching or as wide as the mat or somewhere in between. This time, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Ideally, hands, the palms are flat on the mat, thumbs towards one another. Roll the shoulders back once more. So now you're taking a lot of the weight of the torso into your forearms. I'm lengthening the back, feeling that really nice lateral breath through the rib cage. Again, with the head, you can look down or look up. Now here we have a tendency just to take the weight, dump the weight of our torso into our forearms. But we just did a cobra where we had no hands on the mat. So we know where we need to bring our focus at that lower back to hold ourselves up. So even though, yes, you're supported by your forearms, bring the attention to the lower back. Activate those muscles there without clenching the buttocks. Keep lengthening the leg behind you without losing contact from the pelvis. Hold here, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out, let's just come right into a nice plank. So curl the toes under. We're in a Dolphin Plank. Ready? Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, come into Child's Pose. Bring the knees down. And if you can, butt to the heels, extend the arms forward. Now, if it is hard for your knee right now in this position, if you can, if it helps, bring a block underneath your butt so that you don't have such a severe angle of flexion in your knee, or you can put a higher cushion and achieve the same thing. And then a really beautiful option is to do the puppy dog, where my knees stay at the 90-degree angle and I simply bring my chest and head down to the mat. So my butt's in the air, my knees are not flexed more than 90 degrees, and I'm in a puppy dog position. Now sometimes it also helps to put an extra cushion underneath your knee. Like you see, I usually use 2 or 3 mats for more cushioning. You can go ahead and put something underneath your knee. And let's do one more thing on our belly. So go ahead, come down to your belly. Now again, if your knee is bothering you, only do it as far as you can. This is called the frog pose. Again, in the beginning, your knees can be as wide as the mat, or they can be together. First, I bend my right knee. As I inhale, I bend the right knee. Now, if your right knee is the one that's bothering you, perhaps you cannot bring the heel of the right heel towards your buttocks. So take both hands, hold the ankle or the foot, and feel that nice lengthening here. Complete flexion of the right knee, really lengthening through the hip flexors in the front of the right hip. Now, this is what I want you to think about. If you can easily bring your heel to your buttocks, fantastic. If you find that you're lifting your butt off the mat in order to do that, then you need to ease up and take your heel a little bit away from the buttocks, okay? Because then you're not doing anything if the hips come off the mat. Let's stay here. If you find that you're also lifting your hips off so that you're turning sideways, that means you need to lessen the pose just a little bit also. If you want to deepen the pose here, let's say that you can easily bend your knee and bring your heel to your buttocks, push your pelvis and hip point into the mat. That's going to help lengthen even more those hip flexors in the front. Let's hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. As you exhale, gently release the leg, and the right leg comes down. Now, while I was doing this, I kept my head on the mat. If you find that you need to lift your head and shoulders off the mat, again, that means that you don't yet have the lengthening, and so you want to lessen the angle of your knee. Let's do the left side. As you inhale, bend the left knee. Now, I know for some of you, the left one is the problem one, so only go as far as you can, and leave it right there, because through relaxation, you are going to find some alleviation of the discomfort that's going on in your knee. If you can, you grab the foot or ankle and bring the heel towards the buttocks. So play with it. Check yourself. Are your hips still square? Head is on the mat. Pelvis and hip points are still touching the mat comfortably. Can I deepen the pose by just a little gentle pushing of my hip points down into the mat? So if you remember, this is just the kind of supported version of our supine Vajrasana that we did last week, where we sat on our heels, opened the heels up, sat on our butt, and then leaned backwards. That's the same lengthening that's going on in this position too, but we're in a more supported position because we're laying face down. Okay, exhale, release. And now let's do both legs, so be very careful. Again, if one knee doesn't bend as much as the other, then keep one foot up in the air, the other one maybe touching your buttocks. What's important here is that your hips are square no matter what choice you make. Hold here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now this is an extra little bonus. We haven't done it yet, but we've been preparing for it. Remember in Cobra how we put focus on the lower back. In Cobra, we lengthened the leg so that our hips and thighs were touching. Right now, hip points and thighs are touching the mat. Inhale, lift the head off the mat. Inhale again. Let's see if we can bring our shoulders behind us. Lift the chest off the mat. But don't take the legs off the mat. Hips are still touching, as are the knees and thighs. Now you notice I've got a problem with my right knee, so I let go of that leg, still holding the left, but I'm putting all the awareness in my lower back right now as I lift my shoulders off the mat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release down, release the legs, release the head, and let's come into Alligator Pose, or Crocodile. So let's do a variation of what we just did. Come into Cobra Pose, lengthen the legs, arms are in position, roll the shoulders back. This time, release your hands behind your back. Grab your hands together, or one hand can hold the wrist of the other arm. Shoulders back. Your hands are right about at the middle of your butt. This is how we're going to come up. Lengthen the legs. Inhale, simply lift the head up. Now take those hands, push them away from you, lift them up, and inhale, come up again, lifting the shoulders and chest off the mat. Focus is on the lower back, lengthening the legs for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little bonus, only if you want. Keep your upper body exactly where it is. Bend those knees. Bring them towards your butt. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Makarana Asana. Head to the other side. And let's release the pose. Come onto our back, knees to chest, and roll from side to side. Again, remember the modification here. If your knee is bothering you, you can always put your hands underneath your thighs and go like this. That way you don't have to bend your knees as much. And let's come to the center, nice and quiet here. Again, let's focus on lengthening through the hip flexors and through the very tough ligaments that cross over the knee. So to do that, keep your left knee where it is. As you exhale, extend the right leg down. Square the hips. Right leg, extended leg is still active, which means I have a mild flexion in the right ankle. Toes and knees and hips of the right leg are all pointing equally up and balanced up towards the sky. Even as I'm bringing my left knee towards the chest, I'm doing my best to keep my hip points squared off. It does no good if my left hip now is either a little twisted or higher than my right hip, because then I'm not lengthening anything. Hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just use the strength of the hip flexor and of our core to raise the right leg. So all together, take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, and lift that leg up. So what did we just do? We lengthened the hip flexor, and just now, with an extended leg, when I lifted the right leg up, I engaged the hip flexor. So relaxation and tension. That's how we gradually condition the different parts of our body. Let's change. Right knee is now bent, left leg is extended up. Right here, think about, are my hip points squared off? And then exhale, release the left leg down to the mat. Hold here. Left leg is active. Just relax into this pose. Let the relaxation do the work for you. Most of us grew up in the West, so we all had PE class in high school and college. And we were all taught that only through tension, through pain, through repetition will we condition our muscles. But in yoga, we learn that relaxation also is a very powerful tool to condition the muscle groups. So let's really enjoy this for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Introducing tension. Take a breath in. Exhale, contract, feel the tilt, and float the left leg up. Once more, let's bend the left knee. Open the knees. Come into Happy Baby Pose. Again, this can be done with your hands underneath your thighs. And let's stay here in stillness for 8, 7. Even in this position, I'm really thinking lifting the arch, little external rotation of the knee and hip, so that in this position, I still am maintaining that beautiful alignment between ankle, knee, and hip, pelvis, and spine. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, extend into a full straddle. Again, this may, extending the knee may be uncomfortable, so you can always have the knee slightly bent, but in the full straddle with our knees extended, we feel a little more lengthening through that inner thigh. And coming out, inhale, bring the legs together, bend both knees. Exhale, release the feet behind the buttocks, hip width apart. Now, as we go into bridge, there is a tendency to put the focus on the hip points, which means that as we're lifting up, there is tension running down our front of our thigh into our knee. That is not where we want to have discomfort. We do not want the focus there. The focus is on lifting the rib cage and bringing the sternum up towards the head to shine the heart. So you know if you're doing it wrong, if your knees are really hurting you. So let's begin. Bring the hands underneath your butt, palms down. Ready? Take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt the hip, start lifting up. Now you only have to lift a few inches and your hands are free. And already, let's just stay here and feel, okay, how do my knees feel? If you're already feeling some tension, then what I'm going to ask you to do is lift the arch, external rotation of knee and hip, and see if that alleviates the tension. If you're feeling discomfort, then just stay here. You don't need to rise up any higher, okay? If you can rise up higher, roll the shoulders underneath and lift the chest towards the head. Now you'll notice I haven't really changed my hip points, my knees or thighs very much. They've kind of stayed where they are. But I'm doing my best, centimeter by centimeter, to bring my rib cage and my sternum closer to my head. That's elongating the neck also. And I'm taking more of the weight on my upper shoulders. Ground your feet into the mat. We're trying to take equal weight between our feet and our upper shoulders. Neck is elongated and free. I'm simply looking down my body for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming out, take a breath. Exhale, release the shoulders. Upper back, middle back, lower back comes down. Let's keep our feet and knees exactly where they are. Extend the arms out to the side. Nice, simple spinal twist here. Take a breath in. As you exhale, knees to the right. You look to the left. The feet are still the same distance apart as when we started. And hold. This is a really nice, easy spinal twist to release tension also in the lower back and hips. Again, if your knees are bothering you here, then slide your feet down the mat just a little bit so that you lessen the angle of flexion in the knee. Let's hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming over to the other side all together. Take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt. Float the knees to center. To the other side, you look towards the right. Consciously see if you can slow the breath down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center, take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, come back to center. Hold here. Exhale, roll over to one side. Use your hands and then inhale, push up to a seated position. And again, let's really think about the comfort of your knee or your hip. Use whatever props you need so that you're comfortable. I want to introduce another concept to you that I was introduced to, and I think it's helped. I don't have scientific data about it. But in the yoga tradition, in Ayurveda, when we have discomfort in our joints, of course, mechanically we know it's old age arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis or gout or whatever, right? We can bring it back to some biological agent, we know, or biological process, we know that. But in Ayurveda, they also think that the cause of that discomfort is the accumulation of waste products in that joint. So meaning that the circulation is not even or strong enough to move those waste products on. And from a subtle energetic point of view, there is energy stuck at that point. So you have all practiced with me the Kapalbhati Breath. Kapalbhati Breath, one of the therapeutic benefits of it is that it helps to increase blood circulation. It strengthens your aerobic capacity, but on a subtle energetic point of view, it is believed to move that energy through the joints. So let us practice Kapalbhati Breath. We'll do it in sets of 10. The first set is 10, then you exhale. The second set is 20 repetitions. The third, 30, 40, 50. Now, if any time you feel dizzy or really emotionally uncomfortable, stop and just breathe normally. But we're going to go through 5 sets, working our way up from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. At 50, simply breathe normal. Kapalbhati Breath, for a review, is simply as you exhale, you strongly contract the abdomen, and then you inhale. And it doesn't matter at what speed you go. You'll figure out what is good for you. All right? So let's sit up straight. Hands are in Yoga Mudra. Breathe normally first. And let's begin. Go. As you finish, just breathe normally and notice how much freer your inhalation and exhalation are. Notice how you've released a lot of tension in the belly and chest, allowing the breath to come much easier. Let's stay here for another 60 seconds, simply breathing, allowing the body to come back into equilibrium. Now, if you feel that your breath is calm and so are your thoughts and your emotions, go ahead and lay down in Savasana. If you feel that you're still a little heated and revved up, stay in a seated position for a few more breaths before you lay down in Savasana. That's up to you to observe and be aware of how you're feeling, okay? As you're in your relaxation pose, I just wanted to go through a small explanation, a little bit more about Kapalbhati Breath. Kapalbhati Breath is a breath that also heats up the body. As we said, it increases circulation of blood and increases your aerobic capacity. It's also pretty great for toning the abdominal muscles. You'll notice if you do this every day for 6 months that your muscles are much stronger, that you feel more in control of each inhale and that active exhale. You'll notice that you've taken a few centimeters off your waistline. And you'll notice that you have strengthened the resiliency of your central nervous system, because initially this breath is a bit aggravating to the central nervous system, but over time you're also toning that central nervous system, and it's more resilient to strong stimuli. It stays more at an equilibrium rather than rushing up and down. All right, I'll be quiet now. Let's just enjoy the Savasana. And I know we just got into Savasana, so if you can stay in it a little bit longer, have a great day. If you're ready to come out, let's carefully observe our breath and any sensations you have in your body right now in stillness. And then gently bring movement back to toes and ankles, fingers and wrists, knees and elbows, hips, spine, shoulders. Gently let the head move from side to side. And then all together, exhale, roll to one side. Use your hands as support. As you exhale again, come to a nice seated position. Inhale our hands to heart center. Sharing the pranava one more time. Take a breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And exhale, bow down to the teacher within. And inhale, come back up. Let's open our eyes. We're back into full awareness, ready for the day. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Enjoy your day. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Corinne.
Yep, thank you.
Corinne.
Thank you, Corinne.
Oh, no, thank you.
Great. I hope it wasn't a bore to all the people without bad knees. But it was great.
I don't think so, because I know that some people, if it's not their knee, it is their hip that's bothering them.
Oh yeah, I can tell that one of my hips is a little stiffer than the other, but it's the opposite knee.
Oh, okay.
But I can do everything except walk, Corinne. I can do I don't damage I do the elliptical. I could go shopping all day, be on my feet, but Saturday night, I told you we went out to Gaia